Please be seated. In Mora, the convocation has gathered.
Thank you, Dr. Stockley. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, still morning. Good morning. My name is Claudia Mora, and I'm the Dean of the Jackson School of Geosciences, and it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to our Spring 2024 Commencement. I'm joined here on stage by a few special guests that I'd like to introduce. First, the leadership of the Jackson School of Geosciences. I wish to introduce here on my right, Dr. Danny Stockley, who's chair of the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences. Dr. Michael Young, who's the Associate Dean of Research in the college. Dr. Damien Safer, who's the director of the UT Institute for Geophysics. Dr. Mark Schuster, who's the interim director of the Bureau of Economic Geology. They mix themselves up here. And Dr. Julia Clark, who is the outgoing Associate Dean for Educational and Research Impact. As well, on my left, I have our guest speakers, Dr. Pat Abbott, Jennifer Smith, our student speaker, Lena Benemu, and Dr. Fred Beach, who's the director of the Energy and Earth Resources Program. And now let's take a few minutes to congratulate some groups of people here today. To each and every student who will cross the stage today, congratulations. Graduation is a time of great anticipation and a well-earned sense of accomplishment. Today is the end of all those days when you wondered, will I actually ever finish this thing? Today is the day when you imagine that you will never, ever have to take any more exams. Well, congratulations. In my best Elwoods, you did it. Realistically, there are many more tests in your future. Employment tests, driving tests, training modules, licensure tests, perhaps even the test of writing a good test. But at the very least, you've gotten really good at taking them, so things will go well. To the faculty seated up here, this is a day when you can take pride in launching our students. You've believed in these students, in their ability to succeed, and in their right to a good education. Your shared experience with them, your shared energy and dedication, spent significant time urging and inspiring them to rise to this remarkable achievement. I'm sure you've had some serious talks with the students and some lighthearted chats. And you've shown them by example what it means to be a professional. We are so thankful for all you do. May I ask all the members of the faculty assembled here to please rise, and I ask all of you, graduates and families, to join me in recognizing this group of talented and dedicated scholars. Congratulations, faculty. They made it, so you did it. And for the families and parents of students graduating today, this is surely a day of great pride, maybe a little relief. You made today possible for your child. Long before they came to the Jackson School, it was your love, support, and wisdom that shaped them into the wonderful young adults here today. You invested in their education. You taught them to speak, to read, to be inquisitive, and to learn. You insisted on the high standards of excellence and accomplishment because you knew that would enhance their opportunities in a rapidly changing world. You probably fielded a number of calls in the past 4 or 5 years from someone who was homesick, heartsick, angry, sad, or broke. You probably got a lot of those calls. And you probably wrote a heart-stopping check or 2, or 8, to good old alma mater. That's where the relief comes in. For all that you've given, we thank you. We're grateful for having had the privilege of educating your child. The class of 2024, please rise and join me in expressing profound appreciation for your families and a job patiently and superbly done. Congratulations, families, and thank you. You did it. And now, graduates, back to you. You are today's VIPs. Today, we honor and recognize your hard work and accomplishments here at the Jackson School. Your graduation culminates one of the most formative stages in your lives. The years you've spent here at UT have no doubt been a time of expansive intellectual growth, and you have seen as well the significant evolution of your personal lives and ambitions. We hope you will recall this time with appreciation for the professors who taught you and mentored you and pushed you to develop the knowledge and skills that you will need as a successful professional. We hope you will remember the readings and the research that challenged you and have helped you learn to think critically and creatively. No doubt you've made some new friendships, and some of those will be for life. And perhaps you found love and partnership, or lost love and found it anew, again. But the point is that this time at the university, whether undergraduate or graduate, should be a time of growth and richness that you will carry forward through your life. It's an important and good start to your adult life. If anything was bad, well, there are therapists for such things. During your time at UT, all of you shared the generational moment of change and uncertainty and distress known as the COVID pandemic, which turned virtually everything you knew or expected on its head. I don't think that the pandemic will be very fondly remembered, but I hope you all came to realize and recognize that the same resilience that you showed in pushing forward in the face of the pandemic is going to serve you well. I think resilience and resourcefulness are underrated life skills. You have all done extraordinarily well in remaining adaptive to rapidly changing class modes, to travel restrictions and lifestyles, and you've made it here today. You made it through, and you're here ready to go, and the future looks bright. But should it dim for some reason, should you feel uncertain or alone or hopeless, know that you have it within yourself to change your circumstances and to influence the world around you and to make your life bright again. You already aced that test, and you can do it again. One of the most memorable symbols of graduation is the wearing of the traditional academic regalia. This special attire, which is trimmed in colors unique to our disciplines and alma maters, and draped with a hood that grows longer and longer with each degree you earn, this attire symbolizes a shared history, culture, and values as members of a community of scholars. I don't know about you, I'm really thrilled here with my new regalia. Yeah, Wisconsin, baby. I've learned to say, it's giving. As you graduate today, even before the regalia is put away for future events or Halloween, you'll continue to be a member of this community. Today, you'll join and become part of the largest and most renowned alumni networks in the nation, or in the world, the nation of Longhorns. Stay connected to this distinguished family. UT and the Jackson School alumni are recognized worldwide for their intellect and skill, and others will see those distinctions in you too. This network reaches deeply in business across Texas and the world and can help you find the career that you seek, to solve a business problem, to work collaboratively with you on a research project, or to offer you a welcoming embrace in a new city. When you see someone in burnt orange, even halfway around the world, chances are you've just met a new friend. Revel in your shared history, the secret hand symbol, and your shared pride, and you will forever be part of the Jackson School family. Remember always that Longhorns are as generous as they are devoted to their school. And that generosity has been instrumental in supporting your educations and opportunities here at the Jackson School. Be grateful for all you could access and all of the special experiences and opportunities you had here at the Jackson School. And as soon as you're able, please try to pay it forward to the next generation. I would like to now introduce our distinguished undergraduate student speaker, Lena Benamou. Lena is receiving her Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Sciences. Lena pursued a BS in Environmental Sciences here at UT, initially in the College of Natural Sciences, before transferring to the Jackson School of Geosciences in her third year driven by her fascination with hydrology. Lena's diverse coursework reflects her passion for earth science, leading her to explore topics such as Arctic glacial recession, sustainable water development in the Galapagos, boy, that's a lot of latitude there, and freeze-induced mangrove loss in South Texas. Throughout her time at UT, Lena has been employed across various organizations, including UT Rec Sports, UT On-Ramps, the Department of Integrative Biology, and the Department of Marine Science. Through these roles, she's applied her classroom learnings in practical settings. As an outdoor adventure guide and program assistant with the UT Outdoor Recreation Program, she led backpacking trips across the country, educating others about the impact of climate change. After graduation, Lena will be conducting desert ecology research at the Idaho National Laboratory, while she will continue to apply the skills and knowledge she gained at UT to contribute to our understanding of changing environments. Lena?
Hi, everyone. Great to see such a good turnout. Didn't expect so many faces. So I'd just like to start off by saying it's an honor to have the opportunity to speak to y'all today. While I didn't begin my journey at UT as a student of the Jackson School, I feel incredibly fortunate to have been part of it for the past 2 years. Today, I want to share my journey and the experiences that have shaped my time here at UT. Growing up in the Austin area, both of my parents have been dedicated UT staff for as long as I can remember. But UT's influence on my family runs deeper than just employment. It's basically a generational legacy that spans disciplines and degrees. UT has been a constant presence in my life, beginning with my grandfather and great-uncle and extending to myself and my 3 siblings. UT anchors my immigrant family within the fabric of Austin. It's a shared connection that transcends cultural differences and individual experiences. To further illustrate this point, growing up, every time whenever we would go to the Texas Global office off of Nueces and 24th Street, my father would always point out the balcony where he first saw my mom. My parents are basically living proof that your Wampus love story can actually become something substantial. Growing up, I was surrounded by the spirit of the university. My parents would frequently take my siblings and I bowling at the Union over the weekends, and we'd always pass by the iconic Turtle Pond. These simple moments filled me with a sense of belonging, and as a young child, I couldn't help but feel like the coolest kid ever. As Austin expanded rapidly, subdivisions and apartment complexes destroyed many of my scenic surroundings. Frustrated by the lack of meaningful action to address these pressing issues and feeling powerless, I began to not enjoy living in Austin. I did not want to go to UT, though ultimately I found my place here, and now, after 4 years, I'm grateful for the experiences and growth gained. Starting school in 2020 during the pandemic brought its own set of challenges. But through a lifeguarding position with UT Rec Sports, I found community and have made lasting friendships. In my second semester of freshman year, I started another job with the outdoor recreation program on campus. This allowed me to explore places like the Great Smoky Mountains, Washington, and Maui, as well as some Texas gems like Big Bend, and more locally, Whirlpool Cave in South Austin. Of course, being a guide was not always all roses and sunshine. Sometimes you have to carry multiple people's packs, and maybe even literally put out a fire. Despite these challenges, this program connected me with diverse individuals who share a passion for outdoor recreation. It also allowed me to empower others to build their outdoor recreation skills and safety practices. My travels did not stop there. Through the President's Award for Global Learning, which is a UT program offering fully funded research opportunities abroad, I visited the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador twice to connect research. Interacting with the locals first-handedly provided a lot of valuable insight for me. Whether we were freediving through a fault or hiking across lava fields, Galapagos eagerly shared their knowledge and passion for their home. Their kindness, patience with my lackluster Spanish abilities, and welcoming nature left a lasting impression, inspiring my future plans. I started as a student in the College of Natural Sciences, majoring in environmental science, same major as now. However, the hyper-competitive atmosphere among all the pre-med students left me feeling like a ghost. And I thought that maybe this was just the reality of going to a large R1 university. It wasn't until I transferred to the Jackson School as a junior that I found a more welcoming environment. Whether it was Dr. Sun patiently guiding me through optical mineralogy concepts or collaborating with fellow students, I finally felt valued as a member of the academic community. I realized that colleges are honestly kind of like an ecosystem. Now, bear with me through this analogy. So faculty serve as the charismatic fauna. Think of polar bears. Their intellect and research are what partially allow for colleges to be ranked highly, making certain universities more desirable than others. I'm grateful for professors like Dr. Tim Gouge, who was flexible in his teaching methods for the sedimentary rocks class. Dr. Zoltan Sylvester, for one, teaching me how to code in Python, and two, explicitly making it relevant to geosciences, as well as Dr. Rowan Martindale for always providing resources to support students' endeavors. So in this analogy, faculty would be higher up in the food web. Staff are more like the plankton or diatoms in an ecosystem. You would probably not go to the ocean and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see the plankton," unless you're like a mega nerd. They may not be as exciting as charismatic fauna, but they form the foundation upon which the university functions. Every single staff member that I have ever emailed from the Jackson School has always responded to me, and you definitely can't say that about faculty. I'm especially grateful for Jeff Halleck's support as the academic advisor for the environmental science degree. Whenever I approach him with questions, no matter how random or niche, he patiently listens and helps me find solutions. His consistent support has made a significant difference in my academic journey. Moving to graduate students, who are often teaching assistants or TAs, they would be the herbivores in an ecosystem. Think of crabs. A lot of times, they are the ones directly supporting you through classes and are with you day in and day out, giving you strange analogies, kind of like this one, to help you better understand a concept. I'm grateful for TAs like Edward Clennett, who was always ready to help our section during the 8 a.m. Earth Materials Lab that happened twice a week, as well as Maria Ulatowski, who inspired me with her various projects relating to mangroves. Fascinated by mangroves and wetlands, for my capstone project, I studied the resilience of a marsh grass's productivity in a South Texas wetland after an extreme freeze event. Dr. Kenneth Dunton and his lab at the Marine Science Institute supported my efforts. Some highlights include mastering the art of collecting data using instruments that aren't exactly marine field rated in a marine ecosystem, and learning that coding languages can actually be your friend when building statistical models. I owe much of my success in this project to the unwavering support and mentorship of PhD candidate Barrett Batterton. Despite having her own projects to advance, Barrett dedicated the majority of last summer to guiding me through every phase of my project. Grad students and TAs advocate for students in many ways, which has greatly benefited my undergraduate experience. While they may not always receive credit, grad students have been instrumental in my success and likely that of many others. Now this brings us to undergraduate students. We'd be around the middle of the food chain. Think of fish. In food webs, energy moves between different trophic levels, and so as you move from the base to the top of a food web, some energy is lost. As undergraduate students, we consume intellect from both actively engaged grad students who have boots on the ground and are in the thick of it, as well as from seasoned faculty who have deep expertise in an area and may sometimes struggle to explain concepts in simple terms. While we undergrads may not necessarily remember everything or master every skill, this journey serves as a gateway to endless possibilities and opportunities for growth. My point is that every part of the university depends on others, and they all need to be in harmony for success. When certain aspects are out of balance, it's felt throughout, just like in an ecosystem. Recently, it has been eye-opening to witness firsthand how those in positions of power, including leadership, faculty, and staff, interpret what protecting students means and what that looks like. Universities, especially ones like UT, which are among the highest ranking in the world, are institutions meant to push boundaries, explore the unknown, quite literally for many geoscience disciplines, and question the status quo. There are countless issues in the world begging for our attention and action. I challenge each and every one of us to reflect on these observations, to question the norms, and to be agents of positive change in our communities and beyond. As we step into the next chapter of our lives, may we carry with us the lessons learned, the friendships forged, and a passion for making a difference. Congratulations to all of the graduates on reaching this milestone. Our journey has only just begun, and they have not seen the last of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Now I'm kind of curious. Where is a dean in the ecosystem? I like to think we are primary producers supporting the whole system, and possibly because we have, for the most part, the personality of a potted plant. But then again, maybe we are decomposers because of what we are constantly asked to swallow and break down. You gave me a lot to think about. Now I'd like to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Patrick Abbott. Dr. Abbott is an accomplished geologist with over 50 years of expertise. He holds a BS in geology from San Diego State College and earned his master's and PhD from the University of Texas at Austin. His graduate research focused on the Edwards Aquifer and the Cretaceous limestones within the Balcones Fault Zone, so right here in Austin. Dr. Abbott's professional journey began in academia as a professor at San Diego State University, where he specialized in sedimentary systems and also in natural disasters and their effects on human populations. He's authored numerous scholarly articles and textbooks, including the widely used textbook, Natural Disasters, which is published by McGraw-Hill and is now in its astonishing 12th edition. Beyond academia, Dr. Abbott has been a public voice explaining earthquake hazards, climate change, landslides, wildfires, and more. If you live in California, that's sort of what you see, through public lectures, published books, and TV news. He's been recognized for his contributions in public education and remains actively involved in explaining Earth processes. He's a great example of what a Longhorn can become. Let me turn the mic over to our commencement speaker, Dr. Pat Abbott.
Well, thank you, and well, good morning, Jackson School. I am a Californian who came to the University of Texas for graduate school, and it's one of the best decisions I made in my entire life. I learned so much, understanding geologic time, the passage of life through time, that had greater impacts on my whole life than I ever would have imagined. At the beginning of my time here in Texas, I was a teaching assistant in geology. I met 4 25-student lab classes each week, all by myself. It was intimidating to me. But before long, I was looking forward to each lecture. And then it got to the place where I simply needed audiences. I like talking to people. It was exhilarating. It was fulfilling. And the UT teaching experience shaped me. I would never have been a career professor of geology without it. I found it gratifying also that as courses went by, courses I took as a student and ones that I later taught, stratigraphy, structural geology, paleontology, how they begin to fuse inside you and they can become part of a unified whole rather than isolated classes. It is said that you never really know a subject until you teach it, and I find a lot of truth in that statement. Having to explain concepts made me recognize the gaps or the missing linkages in my knowledge. Geology has a lot of philosophy in its thinking process. In the ways we think, we form hypotheses not as final explanations, not as ideas we want to sell or even defend. Geologic hypotheses are thought-provoking. They are meant to cause further thought and investigation. The emphasis is on getting progressively closer to the truth and less on spouting opinions. These days, more geologic thinking style in the world would be welcomed. As a matter of fact, it would be a relief. But speaking of hypotheses, here is an outrageous hypothesis. In 1893, long before plate tectonics was recognized, H.W. Fairbanks stood on the top of the gold-bearing Eocene conglomerate high up in the Peninsula Ranges of California, tall mountains that extend from California all the way down to the tip of Baja California. He interpreted the conglomerate as river gravels brought from a source far to the east, far from the distant side of the Gulf of California. Nobody agreed. More than 80 years later, after plate tectonics was established, I recalled a paper we had read in Dr. Earl McBride's Petrology of Sandstones course here at UT. In it, trace elements were used to tie a sandstone back to its granite source rock. Inspired, I searched for the source rocks of the Southern California Eocene, looking in an area far to the east in the hills of Sonoran Desert of Mexico. Temperatures in the field were over 100 degrees. I had some serious guns pointed at me by marijuana growers in fields I accidentally discovered. But more importantly, I found Jurassic rhyolitic bedrock that chemically matched class in the Eocene conglomerates in the San Diego area. Fairbanks' outrageous hypothesis was basically validified then, finally proven right. So the next challenge in reconstructing this Eocene was be looking at the whole depositional system, from the source terrain in Sonora, the river deposits, alluvial fan, through a submarine canyon, out to a submarine fan. And we traced all those various depositional environments, those rocks, to basically the shoreline of the Pacific Ocean, but we were missing the submarine fan deposits. So we wondered then, might those submarine fan deposits be exposed on some of the islands offshore in the California continental borderland? It's heavily faulted. This is the kind of thing that would require a lot of field work. But over a succession of San Diego State master's students for several years, we searched the islands and found significant portions of the missing Eocene submarine fan, some 150 miles northward of the San Diego area, on 3 of the islands, Santa Cruz, San Miguel, and San Nicolas. So the Eocene depositional system was all there. It just had 2 major offsets. In Miocene time, offshore right lateral strike slip faulting, moving the submarine fan faces northward, and then later on the opening of the Gulf of California, separating the source terrain from the river deposits. So for that, we say, hurrah for field work. I couldn't put students in Sonora. There wasn't much chance of success, but a lot of students were very valuable in doing the work on the islands when we're actually walking around sedimentary rocks. When I was a UT student, we were required to take graduate courses outside the department, outside geology, geophysics, or oceanography. I took graduate courses in civil engineering, petroleum engineering, botany. In each class, I was the only student without a bachelor's degree in that topic. It was uncomfortable. I didn't even know some of the day-to-day language my fellow students were talking. But as the semesters passed, I grew to appreciate and value the expanded breadth of my knowledge. I saw new linkages to my geologic knowledge. I was developing a sense of the earth, how it operated. With the continuing growth of my knowledge, I wondered, do I have the ability to write a multi-topic college textbook? Thinking of how general education students like topics that affect their lives, things like earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes, I wondered, could I write a natural disasters textbook? I did not think so, but I tried anyway. It was not easy for me, but as was mentioned, it is successful, and it's now out in its 12th edition. I also find it fascinating to look through the rock and fossil record and see how Earth has changed through time. For example, climate and life have significantly affected each other for billions of years. We see how climate has affected life, and we also see how life has affected climate. I can't help being a professor, so let's go back 4.5 billion years, back to the beginning of the Earth. We find that Venus, Earth, and Mars all had atmospheres composed of about 95 to 96% carbon dioxide. With early Earth's atmosphere so dominated by carbon dioxide, the surface temperatures would have been around 550 degrees Fahrenheit. Life as we know it could not have existed at that time. The atmospheres of Venus and Mars are little changed, so what changed Earth's atmosphere? Life changed it, specifically photosynthetic life, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. Operating for billions of years, they removed the vast majority of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, giving off oxygen in the process. And there's a basic geologic principle here that small changes over a long length of time add up to a major result. So where is early Earth's carbon dioxide today? Most, about 80%, is stored in limestone, the same type of rock common throughout Austin here. Much of the rest is held locked in permafrost or deeply buried organic material, including fossil fuels. So much CO2 has been removed from the atmosphere that Earth's surface temperature average has dropped down to about 61 degrees Fahrenheit. And if we remove the remaining 0.04% of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the overall surface temperature would be around 0 degrees Fahrenheit. For all that the photosynthetic bacteria have done for us, we must say thank you. Thank you for providing an atmosphere, for creating a climate that we can live in. We would not be here today without you. A lot of times that doesn't go over with audiences, but thank you, cyanobacteria. Leaving cyanobacteria behind, let's leap forward in time to the latest geological epoch, the Holocene. It began about 11,700 years ago, following the end of the Younger Dryas near glacial interval. The warmer Holocene interval began at a time when humans had already spread all around the world and were having increasing effects on the environment. People were transitioning away from a hunter-gatherer lifestyle toward cultivating crops and raising animals for food. The burning off of land for farming, the farming itself put a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We also have people cultivating rice in wetlands, both natural and artificial, putting a lot of methane into the atmosphere. It has been estimated that these human activities may have warmed the climate as much as 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit. A major point here is, as life on Earth was continuing to affect climate, as it always had, a new player joined the climate change game: humans. The changes our ancestors caused during thousands of years, we are now doing during decades. Moving on to another big change in the human experience, as principles of public health were recognized and vaccines were developed, the human population soared exponentially. When I was born, the global population was about 2 1/3 billion people. Today, there's more than 8 billion people alive. The world population has more than tripled in my lifetime. If we subtract total deaths from total births, then we see that since 1960, there has been a net addition of about 1 billion people to the earth every 12 years. This life demands of this huge population will cause many changes, and changes are not always gradual. There are tipping points in natural systems where small changes can produce large effects in short lengths of time. This concept is not new, but the 21st century may well be a time of pushing Earth's climate past several irreversible tipping points. Your lives and careers may well be spent addressing these changes. Our historical science of geology is based on deep time. Understanding deep time really stimulates my mind and gives me a broader view of life. The expanded view of time helps make the day-to-day problems of life seem smaller and less significant. Want to write a book or a dissertation? Start with a page and add steadily. And here again appears that same geologic principle. The small changes over a long length of time add up to major results. Applying this principle to your life can make you wealthy. It worked for me. Frequently invest part of your earnings in something as simple as a Standard & Poor's 100, then just leave it there. Go about your career, enjoy your life, and give exponential growth the time it needs to work its magic. Your wealth will grow surprisingly fast, especially as the decades roll by. Then when something as frivolous as a phone call comes from a Hollywood producer inviting you to compete in a reality TV series, you could be free to go. I went. Not that it's my proudest moment, but being stranded on a tropical island was definitely a unique life experience. As you might guess, I was cast as the professor, not Ginger or Gilligan. As a professor at San Diego State University, when TV news came calling, I found it exciting. It caused me to process my thoughts faster and to learn how to speak in jargon-free sound bites. The events and processes I explain on TV are essentially the same things I lecture on in general education classes, but TV news effectively increases the size of my student population to thousands and collectively to millions of people. When the Smithsonian came calling and asked me if I wanted to be a speaker on their journeys, educational travel experiences that explore all the continents and across all the oceans, I said yes. Now I have walked on all continents and sailed in all oceans, and here again, the broad background that geology and the University of Texas provided was so important in being ready for such a job. We have something to say, to explain everywhere on Earth. So the geology degrees I earned from the University of Texas did not just qualify me for a job, they set me off on a lifelong journey of learning, adventure, and fulfillment. Through it all, every step of the way, I was a UT geologist, a Longhorn. And here today, I wish I was sitting there with you all, a fresh degree in my hand. I'm ready to do the whole journey all over again. And I hope each of you has as satisfying a career as I have enjoyed. Hook 'em.
Thank you, Dr. Abbott, for the good example that you set for our graduates. So you know, if he calls and he says, hey, would you like to go on a journey to Patagonia, go with him. If he offers you a 3-hour tour, don't. We will now recognize the graduates of the Jackson School of Geosciences. And for this honor, I call on Dr. Jamie Barnes and Dr. Dan Breeker, both professors in the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences, to recognize the candidates receiving their bachelor's degrees. Members of the School Executive Committee, Pat and Jennifer and Lena, please join us up front to congratulate our students.
We will now begin awarding degrees, starting with our undergraduates. Students who have successfully completed the Honors Research Program or the Jackson Scholars Program will receive special recognition. Graduates, after we call your name, please come to the stage, accept your diploma from Dean Mora. After you cross the stage, proceed to the lobby for your individual photos before returning to your seat. Now receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Geological Sciences, graduating as a Jackson Scholar, Kara Lynn Ingram. Kara says, attaining a master's degree in science writing and pursuing a career in science communication where I hope to have opportunities to improve the accessibility of science to broader audiences. I'd like to thank my incredibly supportive family, my amazing friends who've taught me so much, and my mom for all her love and dedication. Now receiving the Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences, graduating as a Jackson Scholar, Carolina Elias Benhamu. Carolina will next be doing ecology fieldwork at the Idaho National Laboratory. She says, I'd like to thank my family and my cat, Lemon, for supporting me through my time here. Graduating with honors, Madison Rose Collin. Madison will be attending the University of California, Berkeley for a master's in geosystems engineering. Bella Faith Gray. Bella says, I will be staying in the Jackson School to pursue my doctorate with Joel Johnson and Ashley Matheny. I'd like to thank Dr. Joel Johnson and PhD candidate Grace Gurian for helping me find my passion for geomorph. Ben Kelly. Graduating with honors and as a Jackson Scholar, David Grady Keith. David has accepted a position as a production engineer with Occidental Petroleum in Carlsbad, New Mexico, and after graduation, and says, I'd like to thank my parents, Fred and Amy Keith, for supporting and encouraging my passion for geology for the last 23 years. Leah Jasmine Mendoza. Layla intends to return home and seek a job in the environmental industry. She would like to thank her parents and sister Marie for their unwavering support and belief in her. Summer Aspen Montoya. Summer plans to attend Dalhousie University to get a master's in civil engineering with research focused on Arctic critical zone hydrology and contaminant transport, advised by Dr. Barrett Kuliak. Summer says, I'd like to thank my family for their endless support and the professors who inspired me to pursue a career in hydrology. Nakul Mithal Nagaraj. Nakul will be moving to Yellowstone National Park to lead backcountry hiking and kayaking excursions. Nakul says, I want to thank my capstone advisor, Brian Hunt, for his endless knowledge and support, and my academic advisor, Jeff Halleck, for going above and beyond as advisor and a friend. Now receiving the Bachelor of Science in Geological Sciences, Lillian Faith Alameda. Lillian says, my plan to continue my education in grad school after a few years of traveling. I'd like to thank my family for their unwavering support throughout my time at UT. Graduating with honors, Sarah Hassim Al-Nassar. Sarah says, after graduation, I plan to apply the knowledge and skills I gained at UT to my future career. I aim to continue pursuing opportunities for professional development and growth while making meaningful contributions. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to my family for their unwavering love, support, and encouragement. Their belief in me has been the driving force behind my accomplishments, and thankful for their presence in my life. Grace Ryan Barnitek. After graduation, Grace plans to finish her research project and apply to grad school. Grace would like to thank her parents and the members of Julia Clark's research lab. Ella Marie Clark. Elizabeth Claire Collins. Elizabeth will be pursuing a Doctor of Pharmacy at the UT Austin College of Pharmacy. She says, I would like to thank my family and friends for supporting me every step of the way. I'd also like to thank my cats, Samson and Walter, for helping me study for exams, work on projects, and making any Zoom meeting I'm on all about them. Gina Leanne Connor. Gina says, my plans for after graduation are to find a job related to geology, programming, or volcanology. At least a few years' experience, I plan to obtain a master's degree. I'd like to thank my mom, dad, sisters, and best friend for supporting me, as well as my professors and classmates for helping me get to where I am today. Eleanor Scott Conley. Eleanor plans to work for a year following graduation and return to school for her master's degree in the fall of 2025. She'd like to thank her parents, sister, Dr. Gardner, Wade Aubin, James Sun, and the rest of the team she's researched with. Susie Elaine Cook. Susie says, after working at Intera this summer, I will start my master's degree at the Jackson School working with Dr. Danny Stockley with a focus on structural geology. I'd like to dedicate this momentous occasion to my dad, here with us in spirit, who's been my biggest advocate and cheerleader on my long journey to this moment, who I could not have done this without. Amanda K. Correa. Amanda plans to go on an adventure, camping or hiking, then continue to develop the skills learned and head into the workforce. She says, I'd like to thank all the amazing professors and staff at the Jackson School for this tremendous opportunity. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
A little bit of tag team. Jason van Dahlberg. Jason says, I will be attending graduate school at the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. I would like to thank my parents for their continued support throughout my undergraduate journey. Nisa Michelle Downey. Nisa will be going to graduate school studying planetary sedimentology. She would like to thank Dr. Tim Gouge for supporting and encouraging her through research, internships, and graduate school applications during her time at UT. Evan William Erickson. Evan plans on getting a career where he can combine his love for outdoors with his passion for geological processes and landforms. He says he may return to school if prospects look right. He also says, I would like to thank my parents and my family for supporting me and encouraging me through college, as well as helping with my studies. Love you, Mom and Dad. You're the best. Elijah Ivan Gray. As Elijah's out-of-state undergraduate career comes to a close, Elijah is looking to pursue employment across the United States. Once his career becomes more established, Elijah will pursue a graduate degree in sustainability and planetary sciences or glaciology. He would like to thank his family, his advisor, the dean of students for believing in him, and his closest friends for continuing to keep him motivated in one of the hardest journeys of his life. Graduating with honors and as a Jackson Scholar, Maria Guadalupe Herrera Santiago. Maria plans to work with Geoforce over the summer, travel, and join the workforce. Maria would like to thank her advisor, family, thesis committee advisor, Jamie Barnes, and committee members, Jeff Cullen and Kenny Beefus. Honors professors, Richard Ketchum, and Jackson Scholars professors, Mary Petit and Joel Johnson. Graduating as a Jackson Scholar, Colin Preston Hoffman. Colin will be going to work in the mining industry following graduation, moving to the Southwest U.S. to work on copper porphyry deposits. He plans to one day have the opportunity to return to the university and seek a graduate degree. He says, I would like to give thanks to my parents and grandparents for the love and support throughout my time in university and during all the time leading up to it. I would also like to thank the professors and staff of the Jackson School. In particular, I would like to give special thanks to Dr. Rich Kyle, who aided and guided me through my research at the University of Texas. Yashoda Prafulchandra Joshi. Yashoda is planning to get a master's in GIS. They would like to thank their parents and sister for being an incredible support system. Graduating as a Jackson Scholar, Alexander James Kelly. Alexander will be doing summer research in Petroleum Engineering Department, working on subsurface machine learning, and intends to apply to graduate school in the fall. He would also like to thank family and friends, Dr. Daniela Rempe and Dr. Bayani Cardenas. Matan Labatvitz. Timothy Evan Leonard. Timothy plans to pursue a job in geologic mapping and hopes to one day be a mineral exploration geologist. He would like to thank his parents and grandparents for always being a huge support for him throughout the years. Jacob Dylan Margocius. Jacob will be remaining in the Jackson School to pursue a master's in the geological sciences. Dean Edward Macaulay. Dean says, I will be teaching high school science in the Austin area, and I would like to thank my friends and family for all their support. Diego Motamia. Diego will be pursuing a GIS analyst internship in San Antonio. He says, I would like to thank my parents who have provided for me and allowed me to become the person I am today. Asher Reed Pierce. Asher says, I plan to find a job and begin my career in the geosciences. I'd like to thank my family, partner, friends, and everyone else who has supported me along the way. Your support has made it all possible. Lunosuke Primak. Lunosuke plans on taking a gap year before going to graduate school and would like to thank the professors in the Jackson School, graduate mentors, and Dr. Elizabeth Catlos. Graduating with honors, James Gongchung Soon. James will be attending the University of Arizona for economic geology this fall, and I would like to thank the best mentors ever, Dr. Jim Gardner and Wade Aubin, for always encouraging me to learn. Haley Rose Swaddlenack. Haley will be attending Scripps Institution of Oceanography to begin a PhD in geophysics, and would like to thank their research advisor, Dr. Yuko Okamura, their professors, and all family and friends for their support. Juan Alberto Vasquez. Juan plans to work for a period of time before applying to grad school. He would like to thank his parents, sisters, and friends for all their support throughout the last 4 years. We would now like to invite Philip Guerrero, Graduate Program Administrator, to the podium to announce the degrees awarded to our graduates.
Graduates, when I call your name, please come to the stage, be hooded, and collect your diplomas. Receiving the Master of Arts in Energy and Earth Resources, Natalie Ann DeHook. Natalie will be returning back home to Canada to start her industry career and use the skills learned in the EER program to hopefully help better the planet. Natalie says, I would like to thank my supervisor, Dr. David Morrig, for his ongoing guidance and my family for their unwavering encouragement and support. We will now award the Master of Science in Energy and Earth Resources. Sasan Hassan Al-Malki. Sasan will be working for Saudi Aramco as a professional geoscientist transitioning into CCUS. She would like to thank Allah, my parents Mona and Hassan, and my angels on earth. Ulrich William Kaplan. Ulrich is currently employed as a geologist at Freeport-McMoRan, a leading global copper mining company. He'd like to express his profound gratitude to Dr. Kyle and Dr. Perch for their guidance in his academic journey and extends his thanks to family, friends, and all involved in their unwavering support. Christopher Duranian. Chris would like to thank his classmates for the good times both in and out of the classroom, and he will be continuing this fall as a Fulbright Scholar. Daria Zara Fallon. Daria would like to thank her parents for their unwavering support and both Dev Nayogi and Michael Garrison for their guidance throughout the EER program. Ismail Halim Farouki. Ismail says, I will pursue a career in helping large-scale deployment of carbon capture and storage, or CCS. I would like to thank Dr. Alex Bump, Dr. Sue Hovorka, and Dr. Carlos Urosa, who have been instrumental in my academic pursuit. And to Gulf Coast Carbon Center, who provided a generous platform and fund to make my graduate study experience possible. Esther Naridia Goita. Esther will begin her professional career in the energy industry. Esther says, I thank God above all for his numerous blessings upon my life. Special thanks to my parents and brothers in Mali, my aunt and uncle from Houston, and my host family from Meridian for all their prayers and support. I owe you all a great debt that I can never repay. Tara Elspeth Grieg. Tara will spend her summer enjoying the outdoors before starting a position with RWE Renewables in the fall. She would like to thank her thesis committee, family, friends, CISC podcast, and RYM.com for getting her through the last 3 years. Hari Kirtana Kamalakanan. Post-graduation, she will begin work to gain practical experience. She would like to thank God, parents, supervisors, professors, and friends for her time here. Isabel A. Ketty Hector. Isabel would like to thank her thesis advisor, Dr. David Eaton, her parents, Dean and Ann Ketty Hector, and her fiance, Gerald Philip Smith. Richard Colt Larson. Richard will be continuing at Stanford University to pursue a PhD in energy science and engineering. He would like to thank his supervisor, Sahar Bakshian, and the Gulf Coast Carbon Center. Maria Paula Madariaga Cubides. Maria Paula is going to join BP for the summer as a geologist intern in the Production and Operations Department. She says, I'm immensely grateful to my dear parents, sister, and little brother. Special thanks to the Gulf Coast Carbon Center team, especially my supervisor Carlos, and thesis committee members Sue and Alex. Finally, heartfelt appreciation for the friends who became family during this journey. Karthik Menon. Next, Karthik says he will explore the nuances of geothermal energy research. He would like to thank all those who helped him in the past 23 years. Not all in the Jackson School. Chinemeram Clement Okizi. Sorry. Chinemeram would like to thank God, my supervisors, Dr. Alex Bump, Dr. Sue Havorka, and everyone at the Gulf Coast Carbon Center for their support during my time here. Alejandro Omana. Alejandro plans to start his career in the clean tech sector and stay involved with his community through environmental justice. He says, total thanks for the everlasting support of my parents and my supervisor, Dr. Sergio Castellanos. Special mention to Mr. Richard Kukla, Dr. Dana Thomas, and Dr. Fred Beach for all the guidance they provided me, and thank you to all the staff at the Jackson School. Lindsay Nicole Patchke. As a summer 2024 graduate, Lindsay will continue working on her thesis research over the summer. She would like to thank her co-supervisors and committee members, as well as family and friends, for their support and guidance. Shelby Robin Short. Post-graduation, I will work as a geologist, she says, eager to apply my knowledge to contribute meaningfully towards exploring our planet's mineral resources. I am thankful to my parents and brother for their endless love and unwavering belief in my potential. I am appreciative of my advisors whose guidance has been invaluable in shaping my knowledge. I'm incredibly grateful for those close friendships this program has brought me, and I'm excited to see what everyone accomplishes. Vivek Singh. Vivek says, post-graduation, I'm set to enter a career in consulting for energy utilities across North America, pushing for transformative energy efficiency and transition strategies. Envisioning a future with global environmental impact agencies, I aim to eventually contribute to India's swift economic advancement by applying my expertise to foster frugal, innovative energy solutions in close collaboration with the administration. Supraja Nagaraja Sudhakar. Supraja says, I am excited to continue my energy research and will be joining a team of researchers at a national lab. I would like to thank the EER cohort, my advisors, friends, and family. We will now award the Master of Science in Geological Sciences. Zara Mohammed Alawami. Zara will be returning to work with Saudi Aramco as a carbonate sedimentologist and stratigrapher for a couple of years and then possibly a PhD. She tells us, I want to thank my two little boys, Hassan and Adam, for their patience, love, and moral support, which they might be too young to understand. I would like to thank my dad for flying all the way from Saudi whenever I had a field trip and needed someone to take care of my kids while I was away. I would like to thank my beloved husband, who has also always been there for me whenever I needed him. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Charlie Cairns for his great learning experience, and the knowledge. Thank you all. Soraya Marie Alfred. After graduation, Soraya plans to pursue a PhD here at UT and delve deeper into the project that she has been working on with her current supervisors. She says, I would like to thank my advisors, Sean and Mark, for their guidance, support, and expertise throughout my academic journey. I'd also like to thank my family for their encouragement and support, and my friends for their emotional support, motivation, and friendship, which have enriched my learning experience. Caitlin Moeller. Caitlin is moving on to a position as an environmental science teacher at the Austin Waldorf School. Nicholas Aaron Regier. Nick says, I will enjoy 5 months of unemployment, including some light world travel to Europe, Africa, and South America before beginning a career with ExxonMobil as a geoscientist. I would like to thank Brian Horton for the opportunity to come to this school and for giving me countless experiences and hours of mentorship that allowed me to grow into the graduate I am today. To Alyssa and Theo, your love and support through the last 2 years have allowed me to excel and provided me with the foundation on which I can lean. Finally, my parents, whose endless love and abounding support enabled me to be here in the first place. I love you both so much, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Evan Civil. Evan intends to continue his research at the Bureau of Economic Geology. He would like to thank his committee, family, and myriad technicians over the years. Daphne Claire Smith. Daphne says that while she's still continuing to search for jobs, she'll wait, and while I wait, I'll be biking the Empire State Trail. I'd like to thank my parents for their endless support and my best friend Maria for being with me through it all. We will now be awarding the Doctor of Philosophy in Geological Sciences. Rowan Al-Assad. Rowan plans to continue learning and teaching people about the earth. She'd like to thank her mom for her boundless love and sacrifice, her sisters for their support, and her father for being the greatest source of inspiration. It's harder than a dissertation. Wade Lee Aubin. Wade will be moving on to be an assistant professor of geosciences at Colorado Mesa University beginning August 1st. He wants to thank his family and many of his friends for their support, and especially to his lovely wife Loretta for her amazing companionship and support during this endeavor. He says, "I couldn't have done it without you." Emily, excuse me, I'm going to start over on that one. Emily Rhiannon Bamber. Emily says, "I plan to continue my research in planetary science with a position at the University of Cambridge. I'm grateful to my PhD advisor, Tim Gouge, who has been an excellent mentor, and I would like to thank my friends and family, and especially Ollie, for all the support." Evan Lieben Carnahan. Evan says he plans to write some code and get some exercise. But he'd also like to thank his family for their continued support. Christian Chan. Christian plans to continue working on missions as a planetary scientist and says, "I would like to thank my supervisors, Don Blankenship and Cyril Grima, for giving me the freedom and guidance to explore my research interests, and my mom for always supporting my endeavors." Seong-Wan Chung. Seong-Wan would like to thank all of her family and friends for all of their support during her time here. Ethan Conrad. Ethan says, "I am pursuing a postdoctoral position to continue research on deformation and erosion at plate tectonic margins. My achievements are not mine alone, and I would like to thank my family and friends for the incredible support they have provided throughout my PhD and the fantastic group of supervisors that guided me along the way. In particular, I want to thank my parents, Tammy and Mark Conrad, and partner, Rowan Al-Assad." Jansu Demir. Jansu says, "I will pursue a postdoc in hydrology, but before then I will throw myself into the warm waters of the Mediterranean Sea back home in Turkey for a while. I would like to thank my advisor, Bayani Cardenas, for his mentorship in getting the scientist out of me and always being there to listen. My mom, dad, and brother and partner for their endless love and support, and all my friends who made this journey much more meaningful." Arnab Dara. Arnab is working as a data scientist in Austin, developing novel geophysical workflows for imaging subsurface using deep learning. He would like to sincerely thank his supervisor, Dr. Mrinal Sen. He would also like to extend his gratitude to his colleagues at the Institute for Geophysics. Oh. It's one of those. But more importantly, he would like to acknowledge the love and support from his parents and wife. Stephanie Ray Forstner. Stephanie plans to pursue a career in the energy industry and would like to thank her friends, family, mentors, and peers for their unwavering support. Nguyen Yip Phung. Samuel, as we know him, is currently working as a postdoctoral associate at the University of Miami. He says thank you to Professors Young and Nayogi for all the guidance in both academic and personal growth. Samuel says, they have given me confidence to appreciate myself and trust my own decisions. I also want to thank my family and friends who provided me a lot of mental support and understanding. Sarp Karakia. Sarp plans to take a brief hiatus from geology to recharge and spend quality time with his kids. Eventually, he aims to resume his career in the oil and gas industry. He extends his deepest gratitude to his beloved wife, whose unwavering support has been an anchor throughout this journey. He would also like to express heartfelt appreciation to his cherished family and friends, whose encouragement and understanding have been invaluable. Lastly, he extends profound thanks to his dedicated advisors. Aaron Michaela Keenan Early. Erin will be pursuing opportunities to continue her research on biomolecular methods applied to paleoecology. She would like to thank Dr. Shanahan for his excellent guidance and Ansel for supporting her always. Nicholas Montiel. Nicholas would like to thank his family and friends for all of their support during these 5 years of his PhD. We got another one. Danielle Ruiz Arriaga. Danielle will be continuing with a postdoc in the U.S. or Mexico. He would like to thank his parents and his wife who have supported him throughout this journey. Sinjini Sinha. Sinjini plans to work as a postdoctoral research or a research scientist in the field of mass extinction and climate change and intends to stay in academia. Sinjini would like to thank her mom, dad, brother, and her 8-year-old niece, Suhavi, her doctoral advisor, Dr. Rowan Martindale, William Foster, Julia Clark, collaborators, lab mates, and friends. Cole Michael Speed. After graduation, Cole will be starting a new position at the USGS as a Mendenhall postdoctoral fellow. Cole would like to thank his supervisors, Dr. Sylvester and Dr. Morig, for their mentorship and patience over the years, as well as Philip Guerrero, Jennifer Jordan, and many other members of the Jackson School community who care about and contribute immensely to student success. Above all, he would like to thank his family, friends, and partner for their continued and unwavering support throughout this chapter and into the next. Travis Nathaniel Stone. Travis plans on focusing his career on teaching in Southern California. He says, thank you to my friends and family who have supported me throughout my time at UT. Sabiha Tabassum. Sabiha is currently working as a water resources engineer in the industry and working FEMA flood risk map projects. She would like to thank her father for his support. Elise. Michelle Elise Thibault. Next year, Michelle will be working as a visiting professor at Vassar College in her hometown of Poughkeepsie, New York. She will teach sedimentology, geomorphology, and planetary science. She would like to thank her advisor, Tim, for his support, as well as everyone else in the Planetary Surfaces Processes group, including Emily, Marielle, and Morgan. Molly Samantha Zepker. Molly will next be a Green postdoctoral scholar at Scripps Institute of Oceanography at UC San Diego. She would like to thank her family, friends, and advisor for support throughout her PhD. Yu Chen Sheng. Charlie, as we know him, is working for Oxy in Houston. He plans to continue to work as a professional geologist in the energy sector. He says, I sincerely thank my advisor, Charlie Cairns, for the solid training and walking me through the ups and downs during the PhD journey. 5 years is not a short time, and I sure will cherish this very special memory for a lifetime. Dean Mora, back to you.
This concludes the awarding of degrees to the Jackson Schools Class of 2024. Congratulations to all of you. With the conferral of degrees today, each of you now becomes an alumnus of the Jackson School of Geosciences and the University of Texas at Austin. Your degree is recognized globally as coming from a premier program in geosciences. It's an entree that will enable you to work and establish professional connections around the world. You'll feel a legacy of common bond when you meet other Jackson School graduates, no matter what their year or disciplinary interests. It's a legacy that was enabled and supported by your family and the faculty, but which is kept alive primarily by you. Stay vested in your knowledge and vested in your own success. Now, I know some of you are eager to see the diplomas that go into those folders. They're in the mail. Here to welcome new graduates into this role, I have the pleasure of introducing our last speaker today, UT alumna, Ms. Jennifer Smith. Ms. Smith is a native Houstonian who earned her Bachelor of Sciences in Natural Resources from Sewanee, or more officially, the University of the South, and a master's degree in geology from the University of Texas at Austin. For more than 25 years, Ms. Smith had a very successful career in the oil and gas sector, spent predominantly in technical and management positions in large corporations, including Phillips Petroleum, Marathon Oil, and Murphy Oil Corporation. More recently, Ms. Smith was a founding partner and vice president of the Geosciences for Ensign National Resources, a private equity portfolio company operating exclusively in South Texas. At Ensign, she was a leader who built not only a successful company, but also a company culture focused on collaboration, hard work, and personal and corporate responsibility. The company grew significantly in value and was sold at the end of 2022, and Ms. Smith's professional efforts are now focused on promoting energy education through work with the Switch Energy Alliance, as well as mentoring students and young professionals. Graduates and families, please help me welcome Ms. Jennifer Smith.
Thank you, Dean Mora, and good morning, graduates, friends, and family. It's an honor to be here with you on this day, celebrating the culmination of the learning and great work you've done here, and marking a new beginning for each of you. I have a little story for you. Early on in my time at UT, I met an older gentleman in the elevator. We introduced ourselves. I told him, "Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a new graduate student here." And he said, "Welcome, Jennifer. I'm Luigi. I keep things clean around here." So as the weeks went by, I noticed how integrated Luigi was into the daily routine around the department. He was in the student lounge at lunchtime. He was in the library. He was always talking with the faculty. He was in all the technical talks. Watching all of this made me tell my mom, this is such a wonderful community. The faculty, the students, and the support staff all have such respect for each other and enjoy working together. I was a little bit embarrassed when about 2 months in, I realized that Luigi was actually the legendary Bob Luigi Folk, a name I'd known for years as a geology student. I was embarrassed at first, but then I kind of felt initiated, as I'm pretty sure Luigi liked to be incognito, and I know for sure he liked to be mischievous. So the root of the story was a bit off, but what I told my mom was true. The fact that a geology giant like Bob Folk not just worked with, but also had strong friendships with everyone in the building proved my point. What a wonderful community. And of course, he was not the only legend intertwined in all the goings-on in the geology department. We had Bill Mohlberger, we had Ernie Landelius, Bill Galloway, Bill Fisher, all here to further our understanding of and prepare us for the world. Today, you all have had professors like Scott Tinker, Peter Flemings, Charlie Cairns, Sue Havorka, Bridget Scanlon, and many others, and the students and the staff, everyone connected in the business of science and education. What a wonderful community. We all have the privilege of saying we are graduates of one of the best schools of geoscience in the country, a place where the best of the best are focused on teaching, research, and collaboration. This place, this community is worth holding on to. We know from decades of research at Harvard that these connections shouldn't be taken lightly. They are critical to our success, not just from a career perspective, which is important on its own, but strong connections make us happier and healthier. As you move on to whatever is next, take this community with you. You are now members of the Jackson School Friends and Family, an international network of more than 5,000 people, the largest geoscience community attached to a university in the world. Remember that the school and alumni community will always be here as a resource and place of connection for you. And perpetuate that, give back in the different ways that present themselves to you in the future. On an even broader scale, the University of Texas Alumni Association, the Texas Exes, welcomes you into one of the largest and most powerful global alumni networks. The Texas Exes became the official alumni association of the University of Texas in 1885 and currently comprises over 570,000 alumni worldwide. Our mission is to unite alumni and friends around the world, create a passionate voice that strengthens the university, promote alumni accomplishments, and celebrate Longhorn spirit and traditions. Our graduation gift to you is a free one-year membership in the Texas Exes. As a new member, you will be joining the tens of thousands of other Longhorns around the world from all the various UT academic disciplines who are loyal members of the organization. Today, you leave here with more than just a diploma. You leave with membership in 2 associations, 2 strong communities that will provide you with lifelong connections to each other, the Jackson School of Geoscience and the University of Texas. We commit to keeping you informed, inspired, and welcomed back home over the coming years. Now I ask that our new Jackson School graduates please rise. Any other UT alumni who are here today, please rise as well to help me welcome these new graduates. It gives me and your fellow alumni great pleasure to welcome all graduating students of the Jackson School at the University of Texas at Austin into both the Jackson School Friends and Family and the Texas Exes alumni networks. Congratulations, return often, and hook 'em horns.
Thank you, Jennifer. Let me conclude our ceremonies with just a few last words. Graduates of the class of 2024, in your time with us, we've seen the growth of your skills, the deepening of your talents, and have seen you develop new connections to the world around you. That same intelligence, determination, and commitment that you've brought to this point, combined with the perspective that you've gained, will guide your future. The success of past Jackson School graduates tells us that your potential is truly enormous. The Jackson School focuses on issues of enduring and compelling interest to society, and this is a time of great societal challenges, resourcing future generations with the energy, clean water, and mineral resources required for a healthy and modern life, meeting the challenge of food security and resilience to natural hazards. These big problems cannot be resolved without the knowledge and skills and perspectives of earth scientists. You are the key to the world's future. We hope that you use the knowledge and skills that you've learned here and add to them over your lifetime, and that you contribute these in some way to make a better world for all of us to share. This is the only world we can all share. On behalf of the entire Jackson School, then, thank you for the privilege of being your chosen school. It's been and will continue to be our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please rise? It's the tradition at the University of Texas that we close graduation ceremonies by singing the Eyes of Texas. The words are on the back of your program. And after we sing, please remain standing while the faculty and graduates leave the theater. Then join us next door for some refreshments, happy hugs, and some general hooting and hollering. Hook 'em. I don't know whether it's going to go off.
Do I leave the mace here?
You gotta take the mace with you.